Welcome back. In this class, we'll be just winding down. So every day we're busy. We have lots that we all have to do. So it's good to take time to wind down before you get ready for bed, especially if you're not sleeping well. So this practice will help you to release from your day, to quiet your mind, unload, download, and then sleep well. All right? So let's get started. Before we get started, if you want to learn the basics of Iyengar Yoga, I've designed a new course, Foundational Iyengar Yoga. This course is for you if you're a beginner, if you've been practicing for a while and you just want to deepen your understanding, or if you're a teacher and you would like to be more inspired, go back to the basics. So it's a 6-week course, 18 different classes, and you'll be able to go through at your own pace. You can find more details in the description box below. Hi there. So let's just get started. We'll have you take a blanket, a bolster, and a strap. So we'll start in Supta Baddha Konasana, a nice one to just get into after you've had a long day. It can also be nice to start your day with as well. So you'll take your strap and you bring it right around the hips and around the feet, and have it low down on your back, around the feet, and then have the buckle pulling towards you. So when you put the strap on, you want the buckle where the strap, once you lie down, you can pull it towards you, and that way you can make adjustments. So I'm taking this first blanket and I'm rolling it, and then I'll place it right on the outer sides of my thighs. So it's just a very restful pose when you have that extra support. So we're not going to be straining. We'll be opening, but we'll have that support. So when you come down, you'll lift your hips, tuck the tailbone under. So you want your lower back descending. And you can feel the back on that bolster as you come down. And then bring your head down. Now here, you can have an extra blanket under your head. You can see and it depends on if your shoulders are tight or not. So you can just, for comfort's sake and for resting the body and the mind a little bit, just bring the blanket underneath the head all the way up to the shoulders so that the whole back of the head is supported, the neck is long, and the throat is softening. If the head is throwing back too much, you get too much strain in the neck. So we want the neck to relax. We want to be able to open through the chest, and you'll just let your arms be to the side. So here you can close your eyes and observe what you feel in your body. So you may need to adjust your pelvis a little bit more, your lower back. That belt is right there across the lower back. You can press the feet into that belt, which then you'll be able to feel the lower back, and then you can release the buttocks even more. So you want to have that extension there in that space. And then just adjust your blanket so that you feel that the legs are completely supported. And then here, the abdominal area is relaxed. So once that abdominal area is relaxed, you can begin to tune into the breath. So as you exhale, let the shoulders descend. You can feel the shoulder blades are flat. And as you rotate the arms, the whole arm rotates, the shoulders rotated, the palms facing up. Just allow your arms to be completely supported by the floor. If your bolster is high or higher than what I have here, your arms may be not quite reaching down comfortably. So you can always take something underneath the arms. I have 2 blocks here, so I'll just show you. You can use 1 or 2 blocks, but just depending on how you're feeling in your body. Is it that your arms need more support, your shoulders need more support? So this is a comfortable way to release your arms. So just adjusting where you need to, so that the hands can relax, the arms can release, and the shoulders and across the front of the chest. And then just allow yourself to be there Now focusing on your exhalation. And then feeling that inhalation. Just letting go from your day, from whatever you were occupied with. Whether you were sitting all day or standing, or you've done a lot of activity, or you're not feeling that you have much energy, just allow yourself to be there and breathe. Feeling that breath, feel the entire trunk region, from the chest to the abdomen to the pelvis. And just let go. So we'll just stay here another minute or so. Using this to punctuate the end of your day and the beginning of space and time for you to release, let go, relax. You're using this class just for a bit of rejuvenation before you get on with some other project, then just be there, whatever it may be. Be with your breath. Letting your exhalation go. Begin to lengthen your exhalation just for a few more breaths. As you focus on the breath will begin to be more quiet, more relaxed in your body, and your mind will begin to let go a bit. So just feel that. Be in that experience. One more minute. All right, then we'll come up. You can take away any support that you used, if you had the blocks and the support under the legs. And then you'll use your hands and press yourself up and take your strap off. Just bring your strap to the side. To transition, we'll just go into forward Virasana with the bolster. So bring the bolster in all the way to the hips. You can have some support there. And just lie the abdominal area, front ribs, and the chest onto the bolster. Bring your arms forward, support your head. And from here, your hips are drawing back. Your lower back is moving down. Just let the weight of gravity help you to descend. Just be with the breath. Let the head go. So completely rest the head on the arms, the forearms. And with that, feel how the arms, the shoulders, and the chest start to relax more. A few more breaths there. So this is a great pose. You can stay here as long as you want with the abdomen supported on the bolster. You can really feel that letting go there, that ability to let the back body descend down toward the front body. Breathing into the back, broadening across the hips. And then you'll come up, take your blanket away and your bolster. And now you're going to stand up. You'll have 2 blocks. So just organize your props around you so that they're not on your mat. Taking the blocks, we're going to stand up and bring the blocks onto your mat. From here, you're going to stand on your blocks. If you feel like you're going to slip, if they're wood, then you can bring the mat on top. And step on the blocks. So just be careful. Bring your hands down. Step onto the blocks. And then from here, straighten the legs. Have the fingertips on the floor. Moving your thighs back, lifting your hips. And then just take hold of your calves and release your head down. So you feel here that you're bringing more weight to the front of the foot. If you're all in the back, your hips will be behind your legs. So as you press into the feet, move the hips forward and start to feel the weight on the front of the foot, and the hips come in more in line with the legs. Holding on to the legs, just keep the shoulders lifting up, release your head. Come back to the breath. Where you were over the bolster earlier, and you could feel the abdomen. So just be aware of the breath in the abdomen now. Just allow the breath to continue to be long, slow, soft, and smooth. If you're feeling that in the hamstrings, you can slightly bend your knees, release your head. And then as you are able to, start to straighten the legs any amount. So just depending on your body, your condition, you have to do what's going to be best for you right now. Not causing any strain, but if you can, straighten the legs, lift the kneecaps, move the front thighs back. Keep that weight on the feet, lift up through the hips. And then release the side trunk, release the head, release the neck. And then you'll come up, bring your hands back onto the floor. Stand in Uttanasana. You can take a block for your head. And then take your hands behind you. So hands are on the floor, you're on the fingertips. And depending on how deeply you can go down, you can have a couple blocks, you can adjust the blocks so that the crown of the head comes down. You may be able to go a little bit lower, or you may need to be able to bring the blocks up. So adjust, and if you don't have the blocks, then just bring your hands onto your legs like we did in the last pose, Viparita Dandasana. Hold onto the shins and release the head down. If you're coming onto the blocks, again, it's a little bit low, so I'm going to adjust that. You're bringing your hips forward, thighs are moving back, so you resist the thighs moving forward, but you're moving the hips forward. And then with the head supported, press the fingers, lift the shoulders. And again, come to that relaxed breath. Just let the head be completely supported, so you descend the back of the head. Throat is soft. Feeling that breath through the abdominal area again. Broaden across your lower back. And again, if the hamstrings are tight, if it's difficult to straighten the legs, then just bend the knees a bit. And then as you can, start to micro bend and straighten the legs. Lift up through the backs of the thighs. All right, and then you'll come up, take your block forward, come into downward facing dog. Bring your hands forward. Just as a transition pose, so taking the height of the block that you need. Bring your forehead between the eyebrows onto that block. Spread the fingers, lengthen the arms, extend up through the hips, and move the outer hips back. Feeling that breath again, exhale, lengthen the breath. Lengthen your exhalation. Observe your inhalation. And then you're going to come down and you'll sit. Sit on the hips. Okay, now you're going to take your blocks. You're going to have one block away from the wall, about a foot's width away. And just take the other block to the side. So you'll sit and come into Dandasana first, and then take the leg. Let's just make sure you're close enough to the wall. So measure your arm so that you can bend the elbow there, okay? And then bring one foot under, and then bring the other foot on top. So this foot is on the arch of the bottom foot. We're coming into Bharadvajasana. And you can see I'm a little bit too far away from the wall. I want you to be, that really wasn't a foot and a half, that was 2 feet. Okay, so the knees on the floor, hips on that block, or bolster, or blankets, whatever you have. But you want this hip to descend, so you're lengthening the lower back here. You bring your hands to the wall, and be on the fingertips, so you're not having to lean to the wall. So you just adjust your distance so that you feel that once you bring your hands to the wall, you can descend this hip, and you can still lengthen up. Inhaling, you're lengthening up, but at the same time, the knees are moving down, thighs are moving down, and you're broadening across the lower back, middle back, and upper back. And as you do that, you'll stay with the breath. You'll activate the breath for your lengthening and your turning. So as you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, start to turn from the lower back. So descending the tailbone, descending the top of the buttocks down. Lift the chest and turn. Maintain that awareness in the legs, the thighs, the hips. And just lift right up through the crown of the head. So you're looking at the wall. Collarbones are wide. Take a few breaths. So each time, inhale, lengthening, exhaling, turning. And then release. And then you'll come around, turn. Come back to Dandasana. And then the leg closest to the wall, turn that foot under. So your knee is bent, both thighs are parallel. So both are facing this direction of the wall in front of you. Foot is over the arch of the bottom foot. And then start to turn. So already when you turn toward the wall, you start to turn this back waist. So that's where you want to start. Descend the abdomen, descend the lower back, descend the buttocks down, and then from there, lifting up, and the first turning will be at the waist. So the lower back, inhale, lengthening, exhale, turn. Taking a few breaths there. And then again, inhale, lengthening, exhale, broaden the back, turn, moving up a little bit higher. Not being aggressive with this twisting, we're just releasing the back, releasing the shoulders, and creating some space. Again, inhale, lengthen up, move up a little bit higher, exhale, turn. When you turn, you want to maintain that movement of the knees, thighs, and the hips down. Maintain that lift. And then exhale. And then coming back around, you're going to bring your legs back in Dandasana. So straighten the legs. And here you can sit in Sukhasana. Just to feel that crossing of the legs. So sitting in Sukhasana, you're going to now come off the block and bring the block on the floor. You're going to lay back and bring your legs into that Sukhasana position. So from Dandasana, you're crossing the legs, and then you're lifting the hips, moving the buttocks down. Adjust the block so that it's going to come right behind the shoulders and the shoulder blades. So coming down, just see where it is. You can take your hands and adjust the block. So you want to be flat on the shoulder blades. So it's in a comfortable position. And then you can take your other block and bring it behind you. And then take your blanket and have the blanket supporting you. So depending on how that feels for you, you can adjust. But just I want you to have that opening through the front of the chest. So you're also getting an opening through the pelvis. Press the feet down, press the thighs down, and then rotate the arms. So here, keeping the arms long in that lateral position, starting to open up that armpit chest a little bit more. Just be with the breath. So when there's space between the arms and the chest, there's more availability of breath to move into the lungs. The back of the body is completely supported. So as you breathe, you can concentrate more on bringing the breath into the chest, to the upper body. Using that exhalation, releasing your exhalation. A few more breaths. Be aware of what you feel, making sure that that lower back is lengthened. You don't feel any compression there, so that you're getting full extension. Now take your feet, bring your feet back onto the floor. And this time when you take Sukhasana, I want you to lift the legs, take the feet, and curl the feet under you so that they're coming closer to the hips, and move your thighs down. So here you're going to feel a little bit more length coming through the inner groin. So especially if you've been sitting all day, this is a nice way to release in the pelvis, into the inner legs, and through the abdominal area. When you're sitting, you have a lot of contraction here through all of the organic body. So just allowing that space there. Making sure the head is positioned where the chin is moving down and the throat is soft. So taking whatever support you need. And this block that I put it on the second height. So if you wanted to add more height or less height, just so that there's some support across the middle part of the back. A few more breaths. All right, preparing to come up, you'll bring your feet back onto the floor. And now you're going to roll over onto your side. Just roll off that block and come up. Okay, so coming down, bring your hips in, come onto your elbows. And again, bring your hips in as much as you can, pressing the feet at the wall, press the heels at the wall, lengthen the inner legs, draw back through the outer legs, and then just bring your arms down onto the floor. So just observe what you feel in your lower back. See if you need to adjust that anymore. As you descend the tailbone toward the wall, you're lifting up through the pubic bone, and from there, just allow the breath to come up. Take a few deep breaths. You have the blocks there. If you'd like to use the blocks on the outer hips, you can do that as well. And then let's take the arms up, Baddha Konasana. So interlacing your fingers, stretch the arms up, and then bring the arms over. So now using the arms, connecting from the sides of the trunk all the way up through the outer armpit area. At the same time, as you press the toes into the wall, press the heels and lengthen the lower back. Just take a few breaths there. Shoulders are moving away from the back of the head. Be aware of that breath. And then bring the arms up. Change the cross on the fingers. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms over. Keep extending. So you're drawing the elbows into the elbow socket and reaching the elbows beyond the head. Outer hips moving toward the wall. Observe what you can feel in the front of the pelvis, the front groin. Just allow that to open. Because we sit so much, this area all gets compressed. So just allowing those organs to the front of the body to have some space, drop down. All right, and then bring your arms back. Bring your feet onto the floor, and now you're going to come a little bit away from the wall and roll onto your right side. And then use your left hand and press yourself up. Okay, so now you're going to come into Dandasana and straighten your legs. So you can sit on a blanket. We're not going to stay here long, but I just want you to be in Dandasana so you can see the action of Dandasana. So the legs are straight, you're pressing through the feet, and you bring the fingertips back and lift up through the chest. As you lift up through the chest, your collarbones are widening, your shoulders are moving back, your shoulder blades are moving forward. Using the fingertips on the floor, you're getting that nice lift of the chest. Okay, so take a breath there, feel that. And at the same time, descend the thighs down. So the thighs are actively moving down toward the floor, which helps you to get that lift, that extension through the body. So taking a couple of breaths there, just familiar with that feeling of the chest lifting, the legs lengthening, and the legs descending at the same time. Feet are active. All right, and then you're going to come up from there, and I want you to get a chair. So the chair, we're going to go into Viparita Dandasana, the chair at the wall, and I'll use a bolster in front of the chair, and I will have a sticky mat on the chair. Okay, so we're going to come into that Dandasana action on the chair in Viparita Dandasana. Now you want the chair far enough away from the wall that you can extend your legs and have two blocks. Take the blocks on the higher height, have them at the wall, and you can have one extra blanket in case you need it. So I'm going to put it right here in case, depending on the size of your bolster, the size of your chair, and the length of your body, that's where you make your adjustments. All right, so I want to have the head to come down on that bolster. So I'm bringing the hips in, sliding the hips in, and I put the sticky mat here, which will give it the hips a little bit of grip so that they don't slide toward my shoulders. So I'm hooking the tailbone, the buttocks area, and then stretching my legs down to the wall. So now the thighs are descending like Dandasana, the chest is lifting, and then I bring my head down. Okay, so I'm getting that lift of the chest. Take the arms underneath and roll the shoulders. Feel where you're placed on the head. So you don't want to be too short. So if the bolster is too high, then maybe you take less support. So if you didn't feel comfortable when you first went in, you might have to adjust your chair. You might have to adjust your bolster or support. You can put a blanket there so the head comes down, the head's supported. Have your arms either through the front of the chair holding the back chair rail, or if your shoulders are, if you're quite broad, maybe you have tight shoulders or you're broad, take your hands on the outer chair. But you want to bring the elbows towards one another to get that lift of the armpit area. Depending on your arms and depending on the chair, sometimes you can bend the elbows and bring the hands back towards you, which you'll feel more opening of the chest. Keep the thighs descending. Be aware of your breath. As you press the heels into the wall, that enables you to descend the thighs more. So keep that attention in the feet, in the thighs moving down, and the pelvis feeling level so that you're lengthening from the pubic bone and you're getting that nice extension through the whole front of the body. You're also getting that action through the back body with a little bit of a back bending movement. All right, and then take your hands back. If you wanted to stay in that longer, you can. We're going to come up, bring your hands onto the chair, bring your feet back onto the floor. And you want to lift yourself up. So you can either bring your hands onto the chair and press your hands into the floor, come up, or separate your feet, use your arms on that chair, and then pull yourself up. As you come up, adjust your hips. Just bring your arms to the back of the chair. Take a few breaths there. So you, again, lengthen through the front body. Keep the shoulders descending. Just observe your breath. Observe your experience. That quietness, that peacefulness. And then you'll come out of the chair. And we'll finish up with Sarvangasana in the chair, so you can have that bolster. So finish up with Sarvangasana. You have your chair away from the wall. You can continue to use that sticky mat. And then you'll sit on the chair. Bring your legs over the back of the chair. So I'm hooking my calves there, bringing my hips in so the weight is on the back of the chair, bringing the hands down. So when I bring the hands down, I can feel the elbows on the bolster. So if you haven't done this before and it's a little bit of a scary thing to come down, just know that the bolster's there, the elbows can feel it, and then start to inch your hips down. I took one foot to the back of the chair. Depending on your chair, some chairs are lighter than others, some heavier. So in this chair, I like to press my foot against the chair to help me slide down a bit. And then I move my shoulders onto the bolster. I've still got the other foot hooked a bit. And then from there, without going too far, I keep extending the arms back, holding onto the back chair rail, the chair legs, like we did in Viparita Dandasana. roll the shoulders under a little bit more, and then extend the legs. Just let the legs be on the chair. If you're close enough to the wall, you can feel the feet at the wall. And again, feeling the hips heavy. And so I'm on a place on the lower back that it feels really comfortable. So I'm not on the upper lower back, but I'm more on the pelvic structure, the sacrum, across the lower back. So from there, that connection feels good. Adjust if you need to. Keep the legs extended up, and with the hands on that back chair rail, you're getting that extension of the arms, and that lift and opening is coming through the armpit chest. So again, the breath is easy to come in a relaxed way. Here you're in an inversion, a complete inversion, which is very relaxing, very good for the heart. The heart doesn't have to pump up anymore. And given the physiological effects of the heart being higher than the head, it's very quieting, very restorative. So just be there for a few more breaths. Observing that exhalation. Bring your feet onto the back of the chair. Come back into Baddha Konasana. Let your feet rest there as you press the soles of the feet. So there's not tremendous action happening, just that connection of the feet, opening through the pelvis, the lengthening of the breath. Softness coming in the face, in the jaw, the mouth. Relax the mouth. Stay one more minute. All right, now take your feet back onto that chair rail. Take your arms one at a time out from underneath and hold onto the front chair legs. Now, when we went in, we were rolling the shoulders under. Here, you're lifting the shoulders up slightly. You can bring your feet onto the chair. Your head and your shoulders are lifting or curling up toward the ceiling, but maintain the hold on the chair. And then slide yourself down so that your hips come onto that bolster. If you slid off and your hips are nowhere near the bolster, just lift up and take the bolster away. Depending on the height of your chair, depending on the height of your bolster, you may want to stay on that bolster. Otherwise, we're going to take Savasana on the chair. So you'll bring your hips in and take the bolster right on the thighs. If you have very long legs, you can bring the bolster on top of the chair and put your calves on the chair. So you want the femur bone to be in line with the pelvis and just allow that space to come through the abdominal area. Take your arms out to the side. If you do need a blanket underneath the head, just having that blanket handy so that you can support your head and soften the neck. And still maintaining the openness through the chest, just be there. So in Shavasana, just again, coming back to your breath, letting go completely. Your legs are supported, legs are moving down into the pelvis. Pelvis is supported, the whole back body, and the shoulder girdle. Just be there now and stay with your breath. Continue to lengthen the breath for 5 or 6 more breaths. And then after that, just allow yourself to breathe normally and be in that passive state, that quiet, peaceful state. I'll set a timer for you so you know when to come up. And just stay there. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're feeling more relaxed, more released from your day, restored, and you're ready for a good night's rest. So take care. Until next time, namaste.